All right, let's talk about the magic that makes your favorite apps and gadgets feel, well, instantaneous. We're diving into this incredible world that's hidden right inside the devices you use every single day. And, it's the real secret behind why some tech just feels smart.
You've totally been there, right? You tap a button on your smart light and poof, it's on, instantly. But then you open up another app and you're just stuck watching that little spinning wheel of death. It's a super common frustration, but the reason why it happens? Well, it usually comes down to a hidden journey your data has to take.
That's right. Every single time you tap or click or give a voice command, your request often has to race across the country, or maybe even the world, to some massive data center. It gets processed there, and then it has to race all the way back to your device. Seriously, it's like sending a letter across the globe just to turn on a light switch in your own room. That delay, that's what we call latency, and it's the #1 problem with relying only on the cloud.
So yeah, that delay, that latency, is really the fundamental issue. Let's dig into exactly why this old-school cloud-only model is starting to show its age for a lot of modern apps.
Okay, so what's really cool about this is how it lays out the whole problem and solution side by side. On the left, you've got the old way. Everything goes to a central cloud. This creates bottlenecks, and it totally depends on you having a perfect internet connection. But on the right, we've got this new approach, edge computing. And the name really says it all. The processing happens right there at the edge of the network, super close to you.
So here's the crucial idea. Instead of that long round trip, edge computing brings the brain power closer to home. It's all about processing the most important, time-sensitive stuff right on or near your device. Think of it like this. It's the difference between having a local expert on hand versus having to call corporate headquarters for every single little question.
Now, this shift is a massive deal, but it brings up a brand new and really tricky engineering challenge.
And this, right here, is the million-dollar question. The AI models that run things like voice assistants and image recognition are traditionally huge. They need massive servers, tons of power. So how on earth do you cram all of that intelligence into the tiny, battery-sipping chips that are inside our smartwatches, thermostats, and headphones?
Well, the answer is this amazing field called tiny machine learning, or just TinyML. It's this whole area of engineering that's dedicated to shrinking down powerful AI models so they can run on the most limited devices you can possibly imagine, things like microcontrollers. These are basically tiny, simple computers on a single chip, designed to do just one or two things really, really well. And when I say constrained, I mean seriously constrained.
Get this, we're talking about devices that have to run on less than 1 milliwatt of power. To put that into perspective for you, that's thousands of times less power than the chip in your smartphone uses just sitting idle. It's an absolutely tiny amount of energy, usually coming from a little coin cell battery that has to last for months or maybe even years without ever being charged.
And the memory? Oh, forget about gigabytes. These little guys often have less than 512 kilobytes of memory for everything. That's for the entire system and the AI model. That is less space than a single low-res photo on your phone. Trying to cram modern AI into that little box is a truly mind-boggling engineering feat.
So when you're faced with these almost impossible limitations, you can't just keep doing things the old way. The engineers had to get super clever and basically invent a whole new way to build AI.
And that brings us to the next step in the evolution, tiny deep learning, or TinyDL. So if TinyML is about getting any kind of AI to work on these chips, TinyDL is about getting the most powerful and complex AI, these deep neural networks, to work. We're talking about the same kind of sophisticated AI that powers the really advanced image and speech recognition in the cloud, but now it's been squeezed onto those same tiny low-power chips.
And this table really breaks it all down nicely. You see, edge AI is the big, broad idea of processing data near where it's created. TinyML is a special part of that, focusing on getting machine learning onto the teeniest microcontrollers. And TinyDL, that's the real cutting edge of that field, specifically going after complex deep learning models. The whole goal of TinyDL is just to push the absolute limits of what's possible in terms of efficiency.
And the progress here has been just lightning fast. It really kicked off back in 2016 with breakthroughs like SqueezeNet. That was a total game changer because it showed for the first time that you could get really high accuracy with 50 times fewer parts. That meant AI that was once chained to a server room could now, maybe, live on a phone. And that just paved the way for things like MCUNet, which proved you could run serious image recognition on a tiny microcontroller. something people literally thought was impossible just a few years earlier.
So, how in the world did they pull this off? Well, it came down to a few really brilliant software tricks. First up, you've got something called pruning. This is kind of like carefully trimming a bonsai tree. Engineers just snip away the unnecessary connections in the AI model to make it smaller and way more efficient. Second is quantization, which is all about reducing the complexity of the math. Think of it like taking a really precise number like 1.9997 and just rounding it to 2. It's a little less precise, sure, but it's so much smaller to store. And third, there's neural architecture search, which is basically using another AI to act as a master architect, designing the perfect, most compact model for the job right from the start.
But software was only half the battle. The hardware had to evolve too. So on the left, you see a general-purpose microcontroller. It's a jack of all trades. But on the right, that's a specialized AI accelerator. This chip is custom-built to do one thing and one thing only, incredibly well. Run tiny AI models with the most speed and the least power possible. It's really the difference between a Swiss Army knife and a surgeon's scalpel.
So what happens when you combine these genius software breakthroughs with this new specialized hardware? Well, tiny AI goes from being just small to being small and unbelievably powerful.
Okay, so this is all really cool engineering, but why should you actually care? What does any of this actually change about your daily life? It means a huge difference. It means your smart home devices react the second you touch them, because the decision is made right there in the device. Your videos buffer less because they're being served from a computer in your city, not one halfway around the world. Your apps use less of your mobile data. And maybe most importantly, you get way better privacy because your sensitive info, like your voice or your biometrics, can be processed on your device without ever leaving it. It all just works better.
And look, this isn't some sci-fi future we're talking about. It is already here, all around you. Your fitness tracker that analyzes your heart rate in real time. That's tiny AI. Your navigation app instantly finding a new route around a traffic jam. That's edge computing. The smart thermostat that just knows when you're home. Yep, that's on-device intelligence.
So when you put it all together, what this all adds up to is just a fundamental improvement in how we experience technology. It's a world that's more responsive, more reliable, and way more respectful of our privacy.
Now, here's a really key thing to get. The edge isn't killing the cloud, not at all. They're actually becoming partners. The edge is there to handle all the speed-critical stuff, the things that need to happen right now, close to you.
I absolutely love this analogy. The cloud is still the big, powerful brain in the background. It's still responsible for storing massive amounts of data and doing the most complex, long-term analysis. But the edge acts as its senses. It's the cloud's eyes, ears, and hands spread out everywhere, gathering information and acting on it instantly. And together, they create a system that's both unbelievably powerful and unbelievably responsive.
And that leaves us with one last, kind of mind-blowing question to think about. We are moving from a world with just a few smart devices to a world where billions of everyday objects, everything from coffee mugs to traffic lights to hospital beds, can have a tiny, efficient little brain inside them. What does that world even look like? What new things become possible? That is the future that tiny AI and edge computing are building right now.